best part about Ocarina of Time's narrative and message is that it's rarely explicit. Everything about it involves reading between the lines and thinking about the circumstances of the game. And because I grew up with this game, its message was stronger. It felt as if the game in every aspect was designed to grow more important. Time isn't always for. The last few years, a lot of legitimate criticism has been toward Ocarina of Time, and I personally know a few people who just don't like playing the game at all. The most notable video to spark a new kind of discussion about the game was Egoraptor's Sequelitis video. Sequelitis as a series were some of the first videos on YouTube that made me think a little differently about the game. His Mega Man video, which is almost 10 years old now, completely shifted my mindset when it came to discussing games. Videos were presented in a manner that gelled with me. The actual arguments got me thinking. Now, his Ocarina of Time video still has stuff that I disagree with. I've made a case for this game's narrative. I've made a case for his targeting. And I've made a case for the game's use of space. Hazards like the sweet, spiky things he criticized still have a place in this game, because you can actively survey their path and base your reasons on timing when they're out of it. Some enemies that he criticized for forcing you to wait can be dealt with by actually finding an item in your arsenal that speeds up the process, which is something that he tended not to think about both when fighting enemies in his video and in the Game Grumps playthrough. I don't blame him for it. I mean, not everyone is conditioned to think like that on the fly. On top of that, he was commentating, so it's not totally fine to have that opinion too. But I believe there are always opportunities to dispose of enemies faster. That problem solving is what keeps combat. Now, there are things he said that I completely agree with. One, I do believe Ocarina of Time makes you wait around. Gets off scot-free when it comes to waiting you out like this. Ocarina of Time is severely more guilty of this than this. I still think these fights can work because you're thinking about timing the next attack during this period of time. When it's the same enemy you fought over a dozen times, it's hard for this defense to hold any. Foes, for example, cannot be attacked or interact in any way until they reappear on this plane of existence. Ocarina of Time makes you wait in a very strange way in some fights. Why do I have to wait for this Koopa to hatch just to pick up talent? I just want to get to the castle. Why does Mr. Owl have to do more stuff that I already know about? Just get going already? And perhaps he's right. A lot of the game's 3D puzzles are rather anti. In 2020, he's looking for an eye on the wall. It may have been effective back then. Now, so many games have been written on this and made better use of space. And even outside of the video, there are still things in Ocarina of Time that have bothered me. In the context of reigniting constructive discussion, the game has a why is there a defense upgrade that only becomes accessible at the very end of the game? I mean, I know it exists as a first finding theory out. Since it doubles the damage of the game, it almost invalidates all that upgrading and exploring. Because Link to the Past had a sword upgrade that would require you to get it. Well, if it's following Link to the Past way, why didn't it do so with Yoga? I talked about how things are spread across Hyrule. It just goes to show that although Ocarina of Time adapted and changed things that Link to the Past introduced for the better, it also did so for the worse. All of the problems I've mentioned throughout this video, with linearity, self-defeating quests, mechanics, aren't exclusive to Ocarina of Time. They've persisted throughout the entire Zelda series. Some of them even exist today. Ocarina of Time have been the focus of these Sequelitis videos. And looking back, his thesis summarized this issue that Zelda felt constrained by conventions that established to hold together. Zelda 1 was about finding things, to find more things and solve more problems. No one asked you to do anything else. But Link to the Past, things change. Ocarina of Time constrained. Now, I would argue that Zelda needed a defined structure. For to continue with some form from Link to the Past, it needed things that would become recognizable. And that's the thing. A lot of people in a lot of Link to the Past, but many more people would be exposed to future games that would continue without different elements that were established in these two games. The question is broad as, what is Zelda? Has an answer that varies from person to person. Is it about going from dungeon to dungeon in a linear fashion as you explore heart pieces and arsenal upgrades in a non-linear fashion? Is it about the core adventurous spirit and freedom as you please? Or is it about something else that I failed to mention. There is no correct answer to this question. What Aaron said is merely inevitable. Nothing more, nothing less. But it remains of value. Just like all of our opinions on this game. What is truly important about this game? Message? Dungeons? Is it problem solving? Is it the world? Is it the atmosphere? Everything? Or is it nothing? The best game of all time? Really, for me,
Hey, this is the only Red Buck Goblin that spawns naturally in Master Mode.
After all, this is yet another Ocarina of Time record. My voice is about to be drowned out by the countless other videos about this. Like I said in my last video, numerous Zelda games have since released that have done things to separate Zelda really is nothing but distorted childhood memory. I don't think so. No matter what anyone says about this game, I want you to know that your enjoyment is justified. It might seem unreasonable to say this, it might seem silly, but it's not. If this is your favorite game of all time, then you picked a damn fine game to love. You grew up with it, lived with it, and for some of you, it might have even helped shape you as a person. If you're on the other side of the argument, understand that the very concept of time affects all of us differently. Some of us have seen the Zelda series grow since its inception in the 80s. Others have only recently jumped in with Breath of the Wild. Everyone has a favorite Zelda game that shapes their idea of what the series should be. With the series so diverse, it can become a heated discussion, to say the least. The point I'm trying to make here is that although Ocarina of Time may not have aged as gracefully as Wild, it is an extremely important game in the story. It may not like it very valid reasons to promote, but it was important for a reason. It still holds up in the eyes of many for a reason. Try to respect it. All else, everything I've said thus far, there is something that no other Zelda possesses. That is its message. After everything I've said, despite wanting to take a break from it. Nothing will ever stop the flow of time. But with that said, my memories and personal nostalgia with this game are just as important as legitimate reasons, as long as you distinguish the two. If a game can make you feel a certain way and help you get through a rough time, then honestly, that's what should matter in the end. Hell, my video really shouldn't matter much if you're accepting it. Maybe the game is flawed. It is showing its age. That shows that you're strong enough and mature enough to accept that you're nostalgic. Is it comforting? But it still remains important because it comforts you. Because at the end of the day, games are all about providing you with an enriching experience, no matter what that may look like. My childhood may be over. That doesn't mean it never existed. And I shouldn't have to pretend that it didn't, or to move on with my life. That is how Ocarina of Time changed me as a person. That is why Ocarina of Time still matters. To end this video off, I want to indulge you in a few emails I received. I asked them to relate what they loved most about Ocarina of Time, and I received some wonderful responses. So, here are some excerpts from memories that demonstrate why Ocarina of Time is so legendary. Not simply because it changed the industry, but also because it changed lives. Maybe that's one of the main reasons it's remembered so fondly. It's fact, who doesn't remember watching Ganondorf gallop along Zelda? The feeling you felt when you did it. How about the legendary Master Sword out? Only have your excitement replaced with a sense of dread. You walk out into a dead state that will but when the internet didn't sums up my feelings about the game as again fun. Almost every time I watch it, I so happy, kind of sad at the same time. Sad that it has to come to an end. Here's how a lot of us feel about our childhood. We're glad to have gone on with our lives. This one we're so happy. Any kid is inspired by the extreme from time and self-projection. It's a magical experience. You go on such a magical journey. You know yourself. I think that's why Ocarina of Time plays so well. I just love the game. The visuals, the characters, the dungeons, the towns, the music. It's all been ingrained into my head to the point where I can't help but have this warm comfort. It's wonderful. I remember crying when it ended as I beat it on the rainy sometime. I love that the whimsical nature of Child Wars is, to put it simply, a miracle. Thanks for your submissions. Thank you so very much for watching. Wisdom is defined as the ability to act and decisions with regard to experience and like courage, power is a trait of progressing yourself or optional blockades like and it all starts with summoning courage. Next step. The force of faith feels like these eventually as daunting enemies become just another game. Your apotheosis as you scale the enemy's power. Courage and power both change the development. Wisdom is experiences more important decisions than a sense of maturity. Adventure comes from everything contributes to the development. And while you apply logical wisdom to the navigation of life's currents, emotional wisdom is just as important. It's crucial to stay in tune with what you know and what you feel. Certain events will have to balance. 2010. The first E3 I was able to keep up with as it happened, and Nintendo reveals The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. The first Zelda game to be built specifically. Twilight Princess gave us pieces in the hole of possible motion games, thanks to its point-based gaming mission. But swinging the remote unchecked by enemy, we had to once button. Giving the implication of motion to be Skyward Sword ended up being Nintendo's swan song. It would attempt to showcase how a Zelda game could flourish and while its involved combat, orchestral soundtrack, and beautiful impressionist era art style excited me, the circumstances surrounding its development. First of all, itself was in a strange position by the time Skyward Sword. Nintendo's Blue Ocean strategy was working. The console sold astoundingly well for the first few months of its life, primarily thanks to the novelty of its control scheme. The nature of the Wii meant that it would be able to appeal to those who wouldn't normally play video games. Satoru Iwata aimed to do this from the very beginning, and in the end, it accomplished. That said, Wii's casual focus drove Nintendo's core gaming arcade away. Sales waned as the feature was bad. The remote had its inherent flaws and accuracy and feature sensing capabilities, with the first few years of remote functionality was of revolutionary games, making games, and some unresponsive and bad ones. Nintendo attempted to Motion Plus in 2009, but these substantial improvements to the remote system, 7 games ended up requiring the remote. And for an accessory that essentially made the remote what it should have been in the first place, that's pitiful. Don't misunderstand me. There are some awesome motion-based games, but with Sony and Microsoft launching the PlayStation Connect effectively, motion gaming no longer felt like a novel concept by the Skyward Sword. Especially when you consider remote things. Of course, the story of the Skyward Sword itself is important to know the context Mario Galaxy 2 a couple of months ago.
Uh-oh.
Originally scheduled for release in
My
March
controller's still
2011, the
vibrating.
game was delayed. The trailers they released in the meantime made the game look more exciting, but so many other things began to overshadow it. Nintendo revealed the that year, and the console took priority. Nintendo also showcased a Zelda tech demo that made an impression on me, far more than the aging look of these graphics. But a shift in focus away from Skyward Sword wasn't the only problem. Another high fantasy game was due for release around the same time as Skyward Sword. You might have heard of it. But even disregarding that, from all corners of the industry, Nintendo was surrounded by immense creativity and innovation. For the first time, Zelda wasn't that charge. As skepticism mounted, was Skyward Sword truly going to be as legendary as expected? The next several years, a lot as a person, I became stronger and wiser from my experiences with illness. At some point, I was talking to a close friend of mine, and we got on the topic of Skyward Sword. I was stunned by my strong negative feelings about it. Even after I experienced instead of I understand your suffering. Like, it's not. I eventually made him a promise. If my recently established YouTube channel grew 1,000 subscribers, I felt that finally achieved something. It has been 12 miles since I passed that milestone. Truthfully, I can't do that. I was embarrassed that my initial thoughts of the game seemed to be honestly, I was insecure at the time, so I put the video on like I punched the wrong direction. I decided to represent Skyward Sword better than random smart. Skyward Sword. My initial perhaps you too will discover if Kindly have tried first. This is a video of Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword.
Wait, what?
Ocarina of Time's interpretation of Hyrule set the standard for possible. Visit and revisit areas. Each revisit areas like Goron City, Hylia, Zora's Domain, Ocarina of all slates for inspired. Events like a of art, history, well, while they were also being brought to life through side quests and collective venues around you, and because these areas were all connected by other shortcuts like Valley Sweep, the world of Hyrule felt seamless. This day, and the Ocarina of Time's over, still the best of the series. Mass built on its foundation, and its plethora of active side quests by its 3-day time limit, make the world all the Quakers round out the interconnected past in favor of the Great Sea, which had 49 different squares to explore, each hosting a unique island. It was a far different approach, the distinctness of most areas that you discover just by sailing out into them. Evoked such wonder in doing so, made it feel like a welcome interpretation of Zelda. Twilight Princess was where things got complicated. It was a much more linear game. It was able to craft a specific kind of adventure because of it. It segmented areas like the Sacred, especially Snowhead, thrived thanks to the game's focus. Said, other areas of the game designed to be connected to items and side quests like a additional. If you consider the way you progress through Twilight Princess, it's no wonder why some people. However, I felt that those segmented areas were where Twilight Princess was able to shine brightest, and they weren't actually new to the Zelda series. Hidden Fortress, the Pirate Fortress, the Comet Castle, the bottom of the well, these were self-contained mini-dungeons that offered both linear and non-linear methods of progression. In the Fortress, you'd be saving the Fortress. In the Pirate Fortress, you'd be Zora eggs. In those areas, you can approach things from any angle objective, and their approaches to both atmosphere and game design were stellar.
Hopefully re-merging will fix things. Otherwise, I might need to find a different route.
Kana Castle is also a testament to that, and although it was more linear than the other areas, figuring out how to enter the castle meant exploring the entire area first for a solution. Most of these areas held the puzzle box design that we see in a dungeon without being bound to the rules of dungeon progression, which made them all more engaging and memorable. If a Zelda game's overworld, or perhaps even worlds, were to feature several self-contained areas like those, the sky's the limit for what they could accomplish. And that's what they went for with Skyward Sword. Skyward Sword's level design is comparable to the shift from the sandbox approach in Super Mario 64 and Sunshine to the self-contained missions in the levels of Super Mario Galaxy. This focus allowed for a more cohesive and linear introduction and progression of its concepts. That being said, there were miniature sandboxes in that game that required the player to explore for a path to the star, like Peach Blue Galaxy, for example. For the most part, this is accurate to how Skyward Sword is designed. Skyward Sword has you visiting 3 regions: Faron, Eldin, and Lanayru, and each of these regions are completely disconnected from one another and the sky above. Becoming intimately familiar with your surroundings isn't a matter of venturing out into the unknown. It occurs as a result of the quests they have you partake in, and by following the paths the designers have created. Each region will have you run into a quest that you must complete before proceeding into the dungeon. Faron Woods has you searching for the missing key keys, while Eldin Volcano and Lanayru Desert have you searching for the pieces of their respective dungeon keys, among other things. Initially, the linearity of the world layouts bothered me. With my current perspectives on the Zelda series, I began to see their merits. Each region is so good at fleshing out its ideas straight through to the dungeons they feature. There is a steady increase in difficulty across all 3 regions, and the ideas themselves are a lot of fun to play with. To begin, first discuss Faron Woods. The area is designed as a giant roundabout that circles around a giant tree in the center, and paths diverge and connect outward in every direction, eventually looping back around to the center. You can douse for the Elder in order to get a general idea of where he is, but it's up to you to figure out how to reach him. Even so, you can look for the Kiwis before even having spoken to him, so you have a great deal of freedom in approaching the level. You can choose to fight the wandering enemies as they come by, or you can run past them and stick to the main battles to save the Kiwis. You can collect materials, there are tightropes to cross, environmental puzzles to solve, and your tenacity can lead you to a piece of heart. Some Kiwis are trapped amid a group of bokoblins, while others are hidden in grass or along secret paths. They also gradually elevate the danger surrounding level mechanics, beyond simply increasing the amount of bokoblins in an encounter. Take these tightropes, for example. First, you walk over them with no present danger other than falling to the ground and losing some progress. Then they lay mines across one, and finally they have you cross a tightrope over a pit with mines waiting for you and an enemy on the other side. As tricky as this seems, it also teaches you that you can jostle the tightrope to shake enemies off and clear the path of mines. Also, when exploring Faron Woods, you'll be able to come across some curled up vines that you can't interact with, but when you save all of the Kiwis and witness the Slingshots application, new paths open up to you. It's a great first area. Then comes the Skyview Temple. While the woods that preceded this dungeon did require some observance of your surroundings, the impact of this was softened by the existence of dowsing, because you'd have a general idea of where each Kiwi was at all times. Skyview Temple and all dungeons to follow take your dowsing away from you and ask you to figure things out on your own. The first hub of the Skyview Temple focuses on raising the water level so that you can reach the block
move some of the mods around and see if that'll do anything. It's very scary how good I've gotten at managing these crazy things I have. Could also be something that isn't from BCML doing things. Maybe the fact that I made it so that days last 48 minutes instead of 24 minutes. There's too many factors to worry about. Oh, did I actually disable the Yiga? I'm just supposed to enable those once I actually beat the Yiga. Emotional damage. Hmm. Sometimes restarting the PC helps. I'm gonna try that next. I can still do horseback combat even without a saddle and a stirrup. Now that's badass. Why is water cold?